So as you guys recall, I made an Elliott Sadler Misfortunate career video the week after he retired, and the video was a great success, netting 12,000 views in the first month. With a tweak in the name as well as a change in direction, I've decided to make this a brand new series on the channel. I mean, nobody else is going to do this, so I thought, why not? After all, there are some true misfortunate drivers and race teams that have decades of underachieving, and I like to visit these misfortunate legacies and provide my own spin on this occurrence. If the series really succeeds expectations, I'll consider adding a reverse narrative in the long run. Anyways, on to the featured presentation. The 31 has been a statement number for the RCR fleet. Unlike the iconic number 3, however, the 31 is known less for its on-track performance and more for its misfortunes on the track, as well as some beautiful paint jobs over the years. Let's take a walk through time and see the misfortunate legacy engraved into the number 31. Should be a good one. So picture this, the year is 1997 and Richard Childress Racing is one of the powerhouse teams in the NASCAR Cup Series garage. The single car operation out of Welcome, North Carolina fields the number 3 Goodwrench Chevrolet Monte Carlo for Dale Earnhardt, who was able to win the organization's 6 NASCAR Cup Series championships. With the successes of the Intimidator, RC was eyeing expansion of his race team and decided to field a second entry for the upcoming season. 1995 NASCAR Truck Series champion Mike Skinner was promoted to the second entry, and the team received full-time sponsorship from Lowe's Home Improvement. After being used in a few part-time events, the 31 would be represented on the side door of Skinner's car. During its first 2 seasons, the 31 team and Mike Skinner struggled to find consistency and speed on the racetrack. The season stats saw him earn only 4 top 5s, 12 top 10 finishes, and he finished outside the top 30 in points for both seasons. Despite the struggles, the team was still in development, so a lot could change over time. For the 1999 and 2000 NASCAR Cup seasons, the Lowe's race team received a major improvement to its infrastructure, adding veteran crew chief Larry McReynolds on top of the pit box. Before becoming an expert analyst on NASCAR on Fox, McReynolds was one of the best crew chiefs in the garage, as his career resume featured 23 career wins and was just coming off a Daytona 500 championship with Dale Earnhardt. The move parallels greatly to the Hendrick Motorsports crew chief swap that's going to occur next season, as a veteran crew chief attempts to rebuild the weakest car in the organization, and a brand new crew chief is promoted to help a 7-time champion regain his competitive edge. And for the 31 team, this crew chief swap worked out really well, and the team was able to make strides on its speed and performance factors. Despite another winless campaign, Mike Skinner netted 6 top 5s, 25 top 10 finishes, led 814 laps, and notched a final points finish of 10th and 12th in those 1999 and 2000 seasons. The improvement is a great reference example of how crew chiefs can make an impact, and this should cast some hope that William Byron and the 24 team can improve under Chad Knaus next season. Great seasons for the 31 car for sure. Unfortunately, the 2001 season was a rough one for Richard Childress Racing. Losing Dale Earnhardt on the final lap of the Daytona 500 left a huge impact on the organization itself, as they were forced to bring up a young Kevin Harvick to the NASCAR Cup Series. On top of that, the 31 team had its own struggles to deal with midway through the season. Mike Skinner was injured during a crash at Chicagoland and was later released from his contract when his performance declined as a result. In addition, sponsor Lowe's decided to leave the race team to sponsor a washed-up talent named Jimmy Johnson at Hendrick Motorsports for the upcoming 2002 season. Yeah, that's not going to work out at all. The fresh face for this 31 team was none other than replacement driver Robbie Gordon, a skilled IndyCar and IMSA driver. While taking over for Mike Skinner in 2001, he was able to net 2 top 5s, 3 top 10 finishes, and he was able to do the unthinkable as he took the 31 team to victory lane at New Hampshire. It was the team's first career win, and finally, after years and years of struggles, they had reached victory lane. As a result, Richard Childress signed both Robbie Gordon and new sponsor Singular Wireless to a full-time campaign, and things were looking promising for the 31 well into the future. Despite the stellar audition, Robbie Gordon was just unable to fully succeed and become the top-tier driver the 31 car needed. During his 3 seasons behind the wheel, the other Gordon netted 2 wins at Sonoma and Watkins Glen and earned 7 top 5s, 21 top 10 finishes, and he finished top 20 in the point standings only once. Even though Richard Childress wanted him to stay on for another season, Robbie Gordon left the race team to start his own organization sponsored by Jim Beam. And that sponsor certainly came in handy at Robbie Gordon Motorsports because the other Gordon just couldn't find the success, and the number 7 team had a rough campaign over the next half-decade. After getting released from Roush Fenway Racing, the mayor known as Jeff Burton signed a multi-year deal to reside over the number 31 Singular Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Unlike the previous drivers of the ride, Jeff Burton brought a veteran presence and some much-needed depth and experience to the ride. After all, he was able to win 17 races and place top 5 in the point standings 4 times during his 11-year career to date. These were some numbers that they needed, and that's what they were hoping when they signed the mayor, Jeff Burton. While the 2005 season featured tons of growing pains, Jeff Burton's experience ultimately changed the fortunes for the 31 race team. From 2006 to 2008, Jeff Burton was able to win 4 races, earn 23 top 5s, 56 top 10 finishes, and earned top 10 points finishes in all 3 seasons. He was a championship contender throughout those seasons as well and was a threat on the racetrack nearly every week. It was nice to see a string of success for the race team, and the only direction left to go was up. Despite the successes on the track, misfortunes and doom continued to plague the 31 car off the track. Because of title sponsor Sprint demanding a dictatorship of the NASCAR cell phone marketing, the existing rivals to the network were forced out of the NASCAR Cup Series. This included at&t, as the primary sponsor of the 31 was forced out after the latest contract expired after the 2008 season. Fortunately, the 31 car was a valued ride in the NASCAR Cup Series, and Jeff Burton was a recognizable name to corporate sponsors and marketers. As a result, the orange and blue colors were literally bulldozed over for the black and yellow colors of Caterpillar. Despite a 6-year drought of not winning a NASCAR Cup Series race, the company was a loyal sponsor over the past decade for Bill Davis Racing, and the colors should have great success with a veteran driver and a solid race team. Once again, the sky is the limit. Unfortunately, the race team's performance changed as well. Jeff Burton's 2009 season saw his performance regress horribly as he only netted 5 top 5s, 10 top 10 finishes, and his average finish fell from a 12.5 to an average 18th place. The 2009 campaign was not only disappointing for the 31 team, but for Richard Childress Racing as a whole. None of its race teams made the chase, and Kevin Harvick placed 19th in the season standings. That alone tells the story of the nightmarish season for the organization. So entering the 2010 season, Scott Miller was replaced with veteran crew chief Todd Berrier, and RCR went through some personal changes as a company, including scaling back to a 3-car operation. As a result, RCR recovered as well as the 31 team. Jeff Burton was able to improve his average finish from 18th to a solid 15th, and he made the chase once again and netted 6 top 5s and 15 top 10 finishes as a result. Certainly a solid bounce-back season for the driver from South Boston, Virginia. Back to the present 31 team, as the 2011 season saw the mayor have a slew of problems to take care of, as well as tons of bad luck and inconsistencies that plagued the team all season long. In fact, the 31 team didn't earn a top 10 finish until Watkins Glen, 20 races into the season. Despite falling off a cliff, look at this! Jeff Burton is in position to win the Fall Talladega race. Finally, the 31 team will get back on track, and Caterpillar will break its long winless drought. Come on, Jeff Burton, bulldoze the competition.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Unfortunately, there would be no next time for the mayor, as his 2012 and 2013 seasons only saw him net 4 top 5s, 12 top 10 finishes, and he finished 19th and 20th place in the points respectively. Despite another mediocre season behind the wheel, it was in the cards for Jeff Burton to return to that ride for the 2014 season. With that said, however, plans changed when Ryan Newman became a free agent for the 2014 season, and as a result, Jeff Burton was released at season's end, and the Rocket Man would pilot the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet SS. Personally, this move was the right choice for RCR, as dropping a declining Jeff Burton for a consistent driver at Stewart-Haas Racing was the better move going forward. In addition, the departure of Kevin Harvick meant that the 31 team would be the main focus within the organization, as Ryan Newman was head and shoulders above Paul Menard and rookie Austin Dillon. The optimism was skyrocketed for this race team, and they had a chance to excel and perform at a high level, and who knows, they might even get a win and end the Caterpillar curse. During the 2014 campaign, the 31 team was actually fairly competitive, as his consistency and bold moves led him to the championship 4, and he beat out drivers such as Brad Keselowski and Jeff Gordon to do so. That season saw Newman earn 5 top 5s, 16 top 10 finishes, and was just 1 spot short of the 2014 NASCAR Cup Series championship. Even though former RCR driver Kevin Harvick claimed the championship, there was nothing for this 31 team in RCR to hang their heads about. They greatly overachieved from their early season expectations and almost crashed the new chase format. 2015 was looking bright for this team, as hopefully Ryan Newman and Luke Lambert could bring back the 31 to victory lane and end the Caterpillar curse. Despite the optimism, Ryan Newman and the 31 team are unable to mine success in the 2015 season. His season stats only saw him earn 5 top 5s, 15 top 10 finishes, and he only led 20 laps all season. In addition, the 31 team was unable to win a race for the 7th consecutive season and were eliminated in the round of 12. With the high expectations to build the momentum, the 2015 season was a disappointment for the 31. The next racing season was fairly similar to the previous season, except the 31 team was just plain mediocre. For the first time since 2013, the 31 team missed the postseason after putting together only 2 top 5s, 10 top 10 finishes, and his average finish dropped from a 13.5 to 15.7. Meanwhile, Austin Dillon and the 3 team were able to qualify for the chase, putting up some stellar numbers during the campaign. As a result, the 31 team was once again a second fiddle race team within the organization. Despite the downward trends, Ryan Newman was signed to a multi-year deal, and Caterpillar remained as the primary sponsor. At least something good happened for this 31 team in the 2016 year. At the start of the 2017 season, something out of the ordinary took place, as late in the going at Phoenix, crew chief Luke Lambert called an interesting strategy for the 31 team. While Kyle Busch and the other leaders made a pit stop, he left the 31 car on the racetrack with just 2 laps to go. and this move ended up paying off greatly as Ryan Newman held off transcendent talent Kyle Larson to win his first race with RCR. In addition, RCR's 3-year losing streak as a company was over, as well as the 31 teams drought dating back to 2008. Unfortunately, Grainger was the primary sponsor for this event, so that means the Caterpillar curse is still going today. Despite 7 top 5s and 13 top 10s, the 31 was largely inconsistent for the remainder of the season, and Ryan Newman saw his playoff hopes end in the round of 16. While the drought was over, a lot was still lacking from this race team. So entering the 2018 campaign, sponsor Caterpillar decided to reduce its sponsorship from 20 races to just 8 events on the schedule. Despite the sponsorship hole, the 31 team gained new financial backing from Bass Pro Shops and Liberty National for the 2018 season. In addition, manufacturer Chevrolet would switch from the wooden box car known as the Chevrolet SS to the sleek, edgy Camaro design. Certainly, things were going to be absolutely great for this 31 team going forward. Unfortunately, this new design flopped horribly as it never helped the 31 car or any of the other Chevrolet race teams besides Chase Elliott, and Ryan Newman had a lackluster season behind the wheel. The 31 team failed to notch a top 5 finish for the first time since the debut 1997 season and missed the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, finishing 17th in the final standings. As a result, more changes were made to this race team as Ryan Newman left to join the number 6 team for Roush Fenway Racing. Yeah, hopefully that team doesn't get liquidated anytime soon, Ryan. Next season, RCR development driver Daniel Hemrick will take the wheel of the team's second entry and will compete for the Rookie of the Year honors. And finally, the team from Welcome, North Carolina announced an unexpected change during the 50th anniversary kickoff, as Daniel Hemrick would bring back the number 8 on his side door and would start a new chapter for that number. With the announcement, the 31 has officially been put away for the foreseeable future and thus ends an era spanning 2 decades with RCR.
Ooh, how about that? A little chain reaction.
After 22 seasons with the number 31 on the side door, the team has only visited victory lane 8 times and has only finished top 10 in the points for 5 seasons. While you guys probably want me to yell and tarnish Richard Childress for this occurrence, I can't fault him for the team's misfortunes. After all, his driver and crew chief choices weren't horrible in the long run. In my opinion, the team was stuck in neutral because of some awfully timed events, as well as a failure to develop and stabilize long-term success. Instances such as Mike Skinner getting injured and never returning to his 1999-2000 form at RCR. Robbie Gordon failing to develop consistency and performance during his tenure and ultimately leaving the organization after 3 years. And then both Jeff Burton and Ryan Newman having consistent starts to their tenures only to regress horribly over time. And in addition, you can blame seasons such as 2009 and 2013, where RCR took a step back and they lost some of their speed and consistency in the long run. Now, while the number change won't help the team aerodynamically, this signifies a new era and a hopeful change of direction for the team. Daniel Hemrick could quite possibly be the next Kevin Harvick at RCR if he can develop and find victory lane more times than not. It will take a few seasons, but in the long run, Hemrick might just be that missing piece to turn the race team around and for the better. Let's hope the number 8 can find success well into the future and shed the misfortunate legacy the number 31 carried for so long. Who knows, they might even become a successful dynasty within the near future. So anyways, this is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015 signing out, and just remember, life's a beach and then you drive.